So could you take me to one of your favorite trees?
Oh, that's a hard one because there are some really great favorite trees in here, but I will, I'll be 75 on Sunday, so I'm going to take you to some of the older trees, if that's all right. I guess I tend to relate to them more these days. And this tree is about 150 years old. And I just have a lot of respect for trees of this height, of this girth, of this age, of this species. And what's really interesting about this tree is that down there where we just came up from, there was a sawmill. And it's really interesting to me that the tree wasn't cut down to go through the sawmill. For some reason they left it. And they left that pine too, and they left that pine over there too. So there must have been some kind of sense of responsibility. Maybe you leave some of the best. We bought this farm in this fall of 1973. One day, a team of horses showed up with a sled, and I just fell in love with the whole thing. I just loved being in the forest, the horses coming in, and they hook onto the log and they lean forward and they pull this enormous amount of weight and steam coming out of their nostrils. In the summertime, there's sweat pouring off their back. It's very physical. It's powerful stuff. How did I value these trees? I could walk up to a tree like this and all I would see on the tree is dollar signs. Like, oh, this tree right here, that first 16-foot log, that's going to bring you $110. And the other one, before you get to the branches, that's going to give you about $80. So there's $190. About 10 years ago, I went into the forest and all the dollar signs were gone. I all of a sudden had learned these trees, our trees and everybody else's trees in Maine today, are capturing and storing 70% of all the polluted gases that we're putting out into the atmosphere, primarily CO2. 70%. And we're going to go all the way around here, and that's at 88. We have to divide that by pi, which is 3.1417, 28 inches of diameter. And once you have the diameter, you go to this sheet that you will be able to access online at our website, and you go across and you find 4,118 pounds of carbon. If you drove your car from Portland, Maine to Los Angeles, California, and back again, this tree would be offsetting the carbon release of that entire trip.
Strong winds combining with record heat and dry conditions, fueling at least 25 large wildfires in California alone.
I have grandchildren now that visit. We go for a walk here in the forest, and I see the trees as providing for these children's future. You want to climb the ladder? Oh, it leads to the top of that tree. We're going to have to start managing them differently. We're going to have to start radically cutting less and being really careful about the trees that we cut, because these are the guards at the door. I frankly miss the cutting down of the trees. My wife very honestly said, Pete, what you love most in life is cutting trees. And I had to nod to her and say, I know, there's nothing quite like the crash. 8 years ago, this tree would be toast. But now, I've got to change her heart, and I feel good about it.